Is you ready for wars when they shooting rockets? I'm tryna hold cheese, but it get out of pocket. Yeah, I'm tryna build you, but they try to knock it. I wanna teach him, but it seems that they mock it. Yeah, behaving wisely like I'm David O'Morgan. Stay on the narrow path and I'm walking in caution. I feel my spirit trouble when I start feeling nauseous. You gotta be making sense, cause I'm not with the nonsense. I was left with no option, I was sold off on auctions. Israelites got the adoption, Satan kills seeds like abortion. To the poor I'ma feed them a portion, blowing it out of proportion. Some days ain't feeling important, not through the spirit exhort them. They got this land off extortion, course of the river.
Let's go into this edition. Give me 2nd Esdras, chapter 9. Alright, so all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Malak, Yahweh Shai. Again, we are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here week in and week out to wake up our people, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and prophesy the downfall and the destruction of America. Give me 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. We're going to kick this off, because as you see, there's a lot of things taking place on the earth. You got sedition, you got war, right? And you got an abundance of evil on the rise on the earth. And these are all indicators that we're living in the last days. Keep reading.
2nd Esdras 9 and verse 1.
Right.
He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently.
What?
Measure thou the time diligently.
So we got to measure the time diligently. Right? So the Lord deals with measurements. Right? He deals with language and arts and reading. Right? The Most High is the ultimate educator, so to speak. Read on.
Measure thou the time diligently.
What?
Measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Right? So we got to be measuring the times in these last days. There's no time to be complacent. There's no time to be spiritually asleep. Right? We have to be awakened. We have to follow these prophecies. Right? Because the Lord, like the scripture said, 1 Thessalonians 5 on down, he's going to come like a thief in the night.
That's right. Do say that.
Right? And a thief, when he comes at night, that's when you least expect a thief to come. Right? You in the bed, you sleep. Right? You with your children, you with your wife, so on and so forth. And that thief come breaking through the window. And you get caught out there. Right? So likewise, that's how Yahweh Shai is coming back. And he's going to catch out these wicked men of the earth, these homosexuals, right? These sodomites, right? These adulterers, these murderers, these thieves. The Lord is going to catch them out there in the land.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before,
read on.
Then shalt thou understand.
Then shalt thou what?
Then shalt thou understand.
And that's when you're going to understand. Right? Because for a long time, a lot of men, they didn't understand. They said, oh, the Lord, he's coming back 1,000 years from now. You still got brothers in the truth that say the Lord might come back 1,000 years from now.
It's crazy.
What the hell type of spirit are you in? I want the Lord to come back today, man.
Right.
And Most High willing, we receive mercy and grace from the Most High in those times.
That's right.
Right? But we should all be in the spirit of hastening the days of the Lord.
Of course.
You shouldn't wake up and want to be in this land. Well, I got to get rich first. I better not hear brothers say, well, hold on, brother, I got to touch my first meal before the Lord come back. Hold on, brother, I got to get my business off the ground before Yahweh shall come back.
Crazy.
Hold on, brother, I want the Lord to come back today, man.
Right.
Now, of course, you still want to have a balanced mindset. You still want to take care of your bills, right? Whatever career path that you want, all praises to the Most High. But you should always be in your mind, I want this place to fall. Whenever I'm making plans for the future, I always say, if we still here. Right? I say, you know what, if we still here, you know, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Right.
Lord willing.
Lord willing. Keep reading.
That is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world.
And that's another title or name for the Most High. The highest. Right? You got the Most High. You got the Holy One of Israel. The highest. Right? All these names are indications of the power of the Most High. Read on.
Visit the world which he made.
Shall do what?
Visit the world which he made.
And the Lord created the earth. Right. It wasn't a Big Bang Theory. A Big Bang Theory cannot give you the breakdown on the psyche of man, how man thinks. Right? How did the Big Bang Theory create the thought process of man?
Consciousness.
How did the Big Bang Theory create reproductive organs?
Don't make no sense.
Right? And eyes and a nose and lips and teeth.
Children in the womb.
Everyone has. And if you don't have it, you're considered not normal. Right?
Right.
So how did the Big Bang Theory do that, man? Right? So they would have to explain these things.
Right.
But the point is they can't explain it. And this goes to show you the wickedness of this earth. Just as in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be.
That's right.
Right? Best believe during the days of Noah, you had men that didn't believe in the Lord.
At all.
They said, we are gods. Right? They was consorting with evil spirits. You had a lot of witchcraft during that time. Same thing today through the music, right? Through the internet, television. Right? It's all witchcraft and evil practices. Read on.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people.
And it's been a plethora of earthquakes. Right? That's not even a surprise now that you get an earthquake. We see all praises to the Most High, another earthquake. Read on.
And uproars of the people.
And you got uproars of the people. So that's what we're starting to see, the uproars of man. Right? People freaking out. You got a no kings rally. And that's the second Esdras, the 15th chapter. They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
Princes, yep.
Right? Give me that second Esdras chapter 15, verse 16. Start at verse 15. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. No kings rally. When I seen that, I said that's spiritual. Keep reading.
The book of 2 Esdras 15 and 15.
Right?
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
They say the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So that's what the people of the earth have to realize. You worrying about the damn BT awards, you should be worried about your salvation and keeping the commandments of the Most High. You worry about the next biggest streamer. You damn binge watching CashApp, Streamer University. Right? You going to Streamer University. Right? You dancing, you're acting a damn fool.
Aiden Ross.
Right? You all caught up in, everything that's going on, man. BT awards. You got certain men, they watch baddies, man.
Yeah, that is true.
Certain men watch baddies, man.
You got Glorilla out here winning the gospel.
Certain men that's over congregations watch that show, man. I kind of seen something, man. A certain brother. Yeah. He said, I was checking out baddies, I said, hold on, brother.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Why are you watching those things? Keep reading.
And one people shall stand up and fight against another.
What the Bible say?
And one people shall stand up and fight against another.
It's saying one people shall stand up to fight against another. So you're going to have race wars. You're going to have civil war. I mean, they show you in these movies. And that's what you call subliminal programming. Look that term up, brother. Subliminal programming. You got psychological operations, predictive programming, subliminal programming. Right? You got it, brother.
Subliminal programming refers to the technique of embedding messages or images below the threshold of conscious awareness with the aim of influencing.
With the aim of what?
With the aim of influencing behavior or thoughts.
That's right. Real quick, and that's what the so-called white man do. Right? He put out these movies. Right? He put out these TV shows. And he pushes out these spirits upon the people of the earth. Right? And that's the same thing likened onto the frogs in the book of Revelation. Because a frog is an unclean animal. Right? And these unclean spirits are hopping on the kings of the earth. That's why they're in the spirit of going to war. I mean, you have to have a spirit on you to create a nuclear weapon. That's not something somebody just wake up in the morning and say, I'm about to go create this weapon. That takes determination.
Yep.
That takes an exceptional amount of motivation. That takes scientists. I mean, you have to really dedicate your life to those practices.
Research.
So why are you dedicating your life to the destruction of man?
See that?
That goes to show you that the Lord put a spirit on these men. Right, read on.
It says influencing behavior or thoughts without the individual's conscious knowledge.
Without the individual's conscious knowledge, man. So you don't even realize that a mind game is being played on you.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what the so-called white man do. He got something called order out of chaos. Right? So he set up all these different false flags. Now, why all of a sudden, you got to pay attention to what's going on. Why all of a sudden, so like you want to let this damn devil go. all of a sudden you got rallies and protests all over America right now. That's happening tomorrow. So there was a mastermind that orchestrated this and said, you know what, we're going to have a rally here in Detroit, we're going to have one in Washington, D.C., we're going to have one in Baltimore.
Atlanta.
Right, Atlanta. Texas. And even when you check it out during the George Floyd riots, they would set bricks down. Right? They would actually set bricks and cinder blocks down at these so-called rallies. You had Antifa.
Yep.
Look that up, brother. Antifa. Look, Esau, you sloppy, man. We know what's going on. We know how you operate. Look up Antifa.
Right, it says Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is a decentralized far-left political movement that opposes fascism, racism, and other right-wing ideologies. It's a loose collection of individuals and groups who use a variety of tactics, including direct action, to resist and counter what they see as threats to their values.
Now look up the founder of it. See, that's how you get Esau. You got to go into the founder.
Yeah.
Who is this man? Who's funding this so-called person? If they know.
Like George Soros.
Right. Tucker Carlson.
That's that guy from that news show, Fox, I think. Well, he got fired.
So you mean to tell me Tucker Carlson started Antifa?
No, I don't think that's what it is. I just saw it said founder to
See that?
They want to hide it now.
Yeah, they see that? When you look into the actual information surrounding these organizations, it's very blurry, man.
Ask questions.
And that's why our people, you gotta ask questions, like the brother said. You can't just blindly follow things. Right? Because during so-called George Floyd protests, all hell was breaking loose.
Yeah.
Right? They was throwing Molotov cocktails. The so-called black man doesn't think to throw a Molotov cocktail. I never heard a brother say, yeah, I know how to make this. You know, you got to put this in there. You got to put that in there.
Oh, yeah, it looked nice.
You know, and kind of throw it. Jake doesn't do that. Because if Jake did that, it'd be happening all the time in the hood. You understand? So that goes to show you it was a mastermind behind these different rallies and protests. They got it, brother.
And they trying to say it don't have a single founder or leader.
Oh, hold on now. See, it doesn't have a single founder or leader. That goes to show you it's a shadow figure behind these different groups. Hold on, we just proved that Antifa was set up by the government. Right?
I said, who was it? I told him Dick Deep.
See that? It say Antifa was originally created by white communist men in 1930 Germany. You know, allegedly. You know. You didn't hear about Antifa 20 years ago. Now, why all of a sudden you hear about it now in today's time?
That was almost 100 years ago.
Right. So sometimes Esau just throw things out there. He throw out misinformation. Right. You got it, brother. 1930 Germany. That sounds like you made that up, man.
Yeah, during Hitler. During Hitler and the Nazi party. They're going to put Antifa on top of that.
Hold on. Antifa said they're against racism, right? But hold on. They say it was founded in 1930 Germany.
Damn. It's crazy.
Nazis.
See that?
It was founded by Nazis.
I didn't know that Nazis was against racism.
Hypocritical nation.
Bring this out. You see the lies of the so-called white man? Bring this out.
Second Ezra 15 to 15.
That was poor. That was bad.
Real poor.
Bring this out.
It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh.
They say the sword and the destruction goeth nigh. Read on.
And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
And what?
And swords in their hands.
And what?
And swords in their hands.
And swords in their hands. And sword represents weaponry. Whether that's the gun, whether that's a knife, whether that's a machete, a chainsaw. Right? Men is going to pick up swords and arms and go to war with one another. Yeah. Read on.
For there shall be sedition among men.
There shall be what?
There shall be sedition among men.
Meaning violent uprisings. Right?
And invading one another.
And what?
And invading one another.
They're going to be invading one another. They're going to be breaking into houses. Those are the days we coming into via the fifth seal. Right? And that's also going to be heavy persecution among the men of the Lord.
That's right.
Because Esau got to come up with something. Now his whole big thing is domestic terrorism. Now we gotta have a police state. We got to surveillance everything because we got domestic terrorists that's a threat to the United States government. And that's a threat to your freedom. So they're going to justify that and say, you know what, we got to set up surveillance. We got to have tanks in the streets. Read on.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Right?
For because of their pride.
Because of their what?
Because of their pride.
Because of the pride of man. See that? Sodomite pride. That's what they got. Now we're in so-called Pride Month. And the so-called white man said, you know what? No. Actually, the Hamite man. Because I believe Barack Obama set that up. He declared June as Pride Month. And then when that homosexual left the office, the White House had a rainbow color.
Yeah,
rainbow color White House.
That's how it was last year.
That guy, man, hey man, if we could choke out the so-called white man in these nations, we would.
And then Biden amplified it.
Yeah.
You know, what was his first thing when he got in the office?
Yeah. Well, Biden was Barack Obama's vice president. Right? Man, look at this, man. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Crazy. Alphabet.
Wow. But hold on, God bless America.
Woo!
In God we trust.
Is that a God?
Justify homosexuality.
Exactly.
And they took our beautiful rainbow and covenant that the Lord made with the earth and man. They would not flood the earth again, and they made it a symbol of homosexuality.
They had a reception at the White House.
Look at that. They had a Pride Month reception. They was turning up. They was sipping yan and they
look
was
at Joe
having fun, and they was laughing.
Look at
they
Joe.
was giggling, right? And they made it a good time, right? All praises to the Most High. Right? Well, it was an actual old video of Trump, and he was doing some stuff too, man. Well, I forget that video, man. It was a man. Give me Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15. Certain stuff you gotta kind of watch what you say now, man. Because we know they kind of flag the channel, take our videos down, so we gotta use wisdom when we speak. Well, we're gonna find that video of Trump, right? Because he's not off the hook as well. It's all a setup. These are all actors.
That's right.
Literally.
How don't people understand that? These people all work together. But they got you believing, it's the Democrats versus the Republicans, right? You got the red, you got versus the blue, right?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Elephant in the dunk. Like, come on, man.
For a week, they was talking about Elon Musk against Donald Trump.
Right.
And then a week later, they back all cool and friends again.
Right.
And then for some reason, Elon don't know nothing about what Trump doing, even though he was his advisor in the White House for months. Come on now.
Yeah. So they confusing the people. And guess what? The witchcraft is working, man.
Oh, man, easy.
You got these Edomites at my job. Yeah, man, Trump, man. Yeah, he gonna help us out. I say, man, you don't know. You lost, man. Sometimes you gotta tell the white man you're lost.
That's right.
Right? You don't know what's going on.
Right.
Get lost.
Right? Hey, and these white people, they worship Trump.
Easy.
That is their idol.
That is facts.
Right? Because they think he's gonna save the day. They think he's gonna save America. But hold on, it's been nothing but destruction since he's been in the office.
That is right.
He had the so-called black man that voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, we gonna vote for Trump. I had the most money ever, man, during the Trump era.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
PPV?
But just in 2017, 2016, when he first got in office, everybody was saying F Trump. Right.
Easy. Until they came to the mom.
And then he gave you that stimmy.
the stimmy.
Right?
The band did
That's why the Lord said a gift destroys the heart.
Yep.
I mean, we see we see
Good
it.
point.
We see the scriptures actually living.
Right.
Give me Sirach 6:13. Never trust your enemy.
Hey. Love that
They
precept.
ask us who we vote for. Nobody, man. We don't believe in voting.
Uh-huh.
Right? We advocate for our king to come back and destroy this world.
That's right.
That's what we vote for. We vote for Yahweh Shah.
That's right.
Our Lord and Savior. You got it, brother.
Sirach 6:13.
That's right.
Separate thyself from thine enemy.
No, be joined.
Separate thyself from thine enemy.
Love the white man.
Separate thyself from thine enemies.
He's your friend.
Separate thyself from thine enemies.
Separate yourself from your enemies, man.
Right.
So we can't love the so-called white man out here.
Right.
And a lot of our people love the so-called white man.
Right.
Right? They got white friends. Right? Yeah, that's what they say. They're not all bad.
Right. Yeah, that's what they are.
Right? And sometimes we don't even, when we breaking down the scriptures, we don't even mention the white man, but they always yet bring them up.
It's in their spirit.
They never bring up the Moabite man. They don't bring up the Hamitic man.
The Elamite.
They don't bring up the East Indian man. They always say, what about the white man?
Yep.
What about him? He's a damn devil, man.
That's right.
Right.
And we're going to tell our people what it is. Keep reading. Manifest.
And take heed of thy friend.
It manifests.
It manifested as
Sirach 6:13. Separate thyself from thine
You
enemy.
hear that, brother? What the Lord say?
Separate thyself from thine enemy.
You got to separate yourself from your enemy.
Yeah,
You got to come back
I
to
got
the
you. I got you. Made man,
What is that Bible verse mean?
way before you was born.
Say it again, brother.
I don't believe in that God, and I believe in Jesus. Made man.
You don't believe in the Lord?
No, short and simple. Way before you was born.
Hold on. You don't believe in the Lord? You don't believe in the Lord?
Nope.
Well, that's dangerous, brother.
I know.
That's dangerous, brother. You got to come out of there. You
Sound
gotta
no.
repent, brother. Say it again, brother.
I know it's a God.
Come up here. Come up here, brother.
Can't hear you, brother. Come on.
Can't hear you. What you
Come up
say?
here, brother.
I can't hear you, brother. Yeah, real quick, brother. Real quick.
Right? Get him. Right?
Get him.
So the brother said he don't believe in the Lord, man.
That's all.
Right? Now, if you don't believe in the Son of the Lord, the Son of the Most High, you condemn.
God,
That's what the Bible says.
John 3rd chapter.
Right? And if you don't believe in the record, you're making God a liar.
Absolutely.
And we know the Most High is not a liar.
Absolutely.
When have the Lord ever lied?
Never. It's
When has the
impossible.
Lord told a white lie? Right?
White
Never, man. Right? But back to the devil, man. Back to the so-called white man. And that's why he's going to slavery.
That's right.
And that's why he has to be bound. Right? The so-called white man has to be put in that. That's right. He's uncool. Right? Bring this up.
God. Sirach
14. Give me Sirach 12 and 10.
Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10.
Right?
Never trust thine enemy.
What God say?
Never trust thy enemy.
What Yahweh say?
Never trust thy enemy.
Never trust your enemy. An enemy will literally stab you in the back, man. Right? Or he'll stab you in your stomach and rip out your abdomen, man. That's what the enemy will do to you.
Right.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You would try to help the enemy up, and he'll get up and punch you in the face.
That's right.
Right. So that's why we can't trust him. So.
On Planet of the Apes, you had Caesar versus it was Cobra, yeah. And like he saw Cobra was about to die, he tried to get him and he held him and he shot him.
That's
Lion King over there happening.
yeah. Watching Lion King. Watching Lion King in the rain. In the rain.
It's all spiritual. This is all spiritual, man. See, man gotta see things from a spiritual lens. See, man look at everything carnal.
Yep. Natural
Oh,
man.
that's just lion. Oh, that's just an elephant. Oh, that's just grass. That's water, and that's just wood. You don't know what's going on, man. Everything is spiritual. Men are trees. The commandments represents water as well.
That's right.
That's why in Ezekiel, what's that, 31st chapter, they say Adam's root was by great waters. Because he had the commandments of the Most High.
That's right.
Right? And he had everything in order. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 9 and verse 1. Prior to his fall, he had the earth in order. Adam wasn't just some ordinary man naked in the Garden of Eden, man. eating an apple like Tarzan, swinging from vine to vine. Oh man, you got it, brother.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 1.
You know?
O God of my fathers and Lord of mercy, who has made all things with thy word.
Who have did what?
Who has made all things with thy word.
And that's spiritual. Because what's the word of the Lord? The word of the Lord is Yahweh Shah.
That's right.
So everything was created through the Most High and His Son Yahweh Shah. That's right. Read on.
And ordained man through thy wisdom.
Did what?
And ordained man
Through thy
So
wisdom.
man was ordained through the wisdom of the Most High. So Big Bang Theory, you can't explain the wisdom of man
at all.
You can't explain how a man created a vehicle. You can't explain how an architect laid out the design of these buildings. You can't explain how we're out here right now using language and breaking it down, giving a sense to the scriptures. Big Bang Theory can never explain that.
Wow. That's one of the senses the Lord gave.
I bet them any amount of money in my bank account that they cannot explain that. They're going to say it's theory. Brother, look at what theory is.
I knew
Hypothesis.
theory different.
Guess. Educated guess.
All right?
Right,
Theory. A supposition or a system of ideas intended to explain something, especially one based on general principles independent of the theme to be explained.
Right? So what's a synonym for?
Hypothesis.
What I say? What I say?
Thesis. Speculation. Guess.
Speculative.
Opinion. Feeling. Belief.
Wow.
Thinking.
Right.
And on and on and on.
Thought process. It's just all type of things that don't align with the scriptures. It's not based off truth. That's basically what it's saying. And they say, well, Albert Einstein, that was the wisest man. He didn't know nothing, man. He wasn't wiser than Solomon.
Right. Here.
Thomas Edison, Isaac
1
Newton.
Kings chapter 10 and verse 1. So stop believing in the so-called white man. Everything he does is a lie.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 10 and verse 1. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him.
She came to what?
She came to prove him.
She wanted to see if he really had this knowledge. She came to prove him. What type of spirit is that? I'm gonna just come and prove this man, see if he's really about what he's talking about. Who the hell are you, man?
Right.
Our king, man. Right. So that goes to show you the heathen always had a spirit on them. But they also was fascinated at our knowledge. This guy's a bug out.
Came to prove him with hard questions.
With what?
With hard questions.
With hard questions. Wow. And they tried to prove Yahweh Shah with hard questions.
Absolutely.
See that? So it's the same spirit. Read on.
And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, and very much gold, and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions.
You gotta picture this. You gotta just picture this whole setting. You know, this queen is coming from a far country. She wanted to hear the wisdom and the knowledge of Solomon. He breaking it down to her. Solomon knew different languages, man. Right? He knew different languages. He knew everything.
Every single
He knew about he knew about astronomy, the constellations, the ordering of the stars, the turning of the sun. He was breaking it down. He knew about all the animals. He was breaking down the anatomy, the spiders, and he was breaking it down,
the
man.
reasons of men.
Yeah.
The reasons of men. Psychology, he was on a high level.
Astrology, all of that.
Right?
Wisdom of Solomon 7.
From the beginning, end, and midst of times.
That's right.
Circuit of the years, she says.
It says, there was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendant of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, it was a true report.
They said there was no more spirit in her. She almost fainted, man. Know what she heard about that glorious knowledge. Read on.
It says it was a true report.
It was a what?
It was a true report
And what else?
that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit I believed not the words until I came, and my eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard.
See that? So she said, look, I ain't know the half of it. She said, first of all, I didn't believe it. And then I didn't even know the half of nothing was coming to me. Well, nothing broke down. Right? So that just goes to show you he's our
The book of Ecclesiastes, 10 and verse 6.
You know
Folly is set in great dignity.
what the Bible say?
Folly is set in great dignity.
That's set in great dignity. Drunk ass Edomites dancing, right? On a Friday night, man. They just look at this like a Friday night. They don't honor it as a Saturday. They say this is a Friday night. You know, we off work. You know, we going to drink. We
It's the weekend.
Smoke out smoke. We going, you know, parlay and we going to have fun.
A day off.
Right? Yeah. Keep reading.
And the rich sit in low place.
And the what?
And the rich sit in low places.
And we are the rich just sitting in that low place. Man.
That's right.
Right? But there's going to come a time where we're going to be on those horses again.
That's right.
Right? And the so-called white man's going to be walking on earth.
That's right.
Right? So again, come out of the lies of America. Understand what's going on in these last days. Don't be deceived. What's one of the first things the Lord said? Give me that Matthew the 24th chapter. In verse 3. What's the first thing the Lord warned us about? Deception. Bring it out.
Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
What the Lord say?
And Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
What he say?
Take heed that no man deceive you.
Scripture say?
Take heed that no man deceive you.
Take heed that no man deceive you. Read on.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
Shall be what?
And shall deceive many.
You shall deceive many. That's plain upon table. So that was the first thing that the Lord told his disciples. Take heed that no man deceive you. So brothers got to question everything in these last days.
That's right.
Right? It's stuff deep, man.
That's right.
They call us conspiracy nuts. Yeah, he's a nut. You know, he's a lunatic. Put him in a straitjacket.
My granddad was just telling me, researching this, he said, y'all black extremists.
Oh, see?
Culture.
We're black. Where you get that term from?
The white man.
The so-called white man. That was not in Jake vocabulary. Black extremists.
Right.
You know.
He said we radical.
Yeah,
we're radical.
radical cults.
We're radical. Right? I don't know if brothers ever seen that movie, The Great Debaters, with Denzel Washington. And he was saying, he said Jesus was a radical. He said Jesus was a radical. You know, because the pastor tried to get on him. Yeah. Because Denzel Washington, he was a communist. You know what I mean? You know, during those times, during the Jim Crow era, you couldn't do what we doing now. You'll get hung. This was serious, man. And that's why the Lord, he set it up in a way where the word can have free course.
Absolutely.
You know, civil rights movement, even though it was wickedness behind it, that was all orchestrated by the Lord ultimately to set up rights for us to have to come out here and do the work of the Most High.
That's right.
You gotta look at things more spiritual. But yeah, he was a so-called communist. You know, he was speaking against the authorities and the governing bodies of that city. Hey, if you did that in those times, you'll get hung and lynched.
He was doing secret.
He was doing the secret
meetings.
Yeah. Hey, we had to keep the Sabbath secret in Maccabees. Hey, we might have to do it again in these times, man. We got to keep the Sabbath secretly. We got to keep feast days secretly. Right? pastor, he was like, hey man, you know, it's a hospital for people like you to think of Christ. You know? He said, hold on, Jesus was a radical. He said, whoa. The pastor got offended.
Every time you use the Bible.
But it's true. Christ was a radical. He was going against the Roman authorities, man. Now, was he actually physically taking up arms trying to overthrow their government? No, but he was speaking out against their government. And that's the same thing we do in today's time. What? They call us terrorists, man. And we do bring terrorism to this nation.
Spiritually.
That was the society.
Yeah. Now Esau might take that clip and put it on CNN. See, he said he was a terrorist.
Using AI,
No,
modified.
we bring terrorism to this society on a spiritual level. We never hung or lynched anyone. We never killed anyone.
Shot up the ball.
Right. So what do you say about that, man? So the so-called white man is going to slavery.
That's right.
He's going to the Bible, according to thus saith the Lord.
That's right, boy.
You're going to slavery.
That is right.
That's right. Bible said it. That's right.
That's right.
Give a damn how much weight you lift.
Don't be.
Bitch pressing you do. We'll cut you down.
That's right.
Right?
That is correct. Fully correct.
We're going to cut down all these Edomites in the last days.
That's right.
All these so-called white dogs, man. We're going to cut them down, man.
Right.
We're going to slaughter them, man.
That's right.
And that's thus saith the Lord.
That's right.
Right? For anybody that didn't know, give me Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse 2. Right?
Jeremiah 15 and 2.
Bring it out.
And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth?
They're going to say, where we going to go? What can we do about it? That's what that Edomite woman said earlier, man. Well, what do you want me to do about it? Right? That's what the Bible says.
Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith what?
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord. Yeah, so we are teaching the nations, man. We teaching them their judgments.
That's right.
You know, they like to pull it, you got to teach the nations, then they close the Bible. Well, really, that's talking about Israel, but even double fold, we are teaching the nations, man.
That's right.
We teach them about their judgment.
Right.
Teaching doesn't mean we love them. Teaching means we're coming out here doing what the Lord commanded. And if an Edomite comes up in sincerity, we're going to edify him and give him the truth.
That's right. Right.
And we are the true humanitarians, man.
That's right. That is correct.
So-called white man say he's a humanitarian. No, he's not. Because he's killing the earth.
Not at all.
Right, keep reading. Right? Edomites.
Such as are for death to death, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as are for famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity.
That's your lot.
That's right.
That's it.
Captivity, famine, the sword, death.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing for you, so-called white man, and you other nations, and 2/3 of our people.
Right.
Right? So you want to pray that you're found worthy to be able to stand before the Son of Man as an Israelite, repentant and is true. That should be your prayer.
Thank you for watching.
Sincerity.
Follow our social media and continue to like and share the video. And subscribe for more content.